In One Piece episode 1175, Loki's demon is finally revealed. Loki only ate the legendary demon, the ancient dragon species, the model Nidhek. Furthermore, according to Yaru, Nidhek is a power wielded by the predecessor who changed the world over 1,000 years ago, and its name has been told many times in old legends. The story begins with the late Summers attacking the children and their families. Summers, losing his composure in anger at having his plan thwarted, summons countless sharp dancing vines and unleashes them all at once towards Ripley and the children's parents. The children tremble in fear as they witness the countless vines approaching. However, the next moment, they themselves step forward. Even as they cry, they desperately stand up to protect their parents. Stop! Even so, Summers does not stop his attack. With a spiritual expression, he continues to unleash more vines. The vines mercilessly charge towards the children. The next moment, a sharp slash runs through them. Solo appears. The trembling sword cuts through the astonishing blade in an instant, saving the children. His back, still holding the three swords, stands in front of the children, silently protecting them. Immediately after that, another shadow steps forward, and it is Luffy. Luffy glares at Summers with an angry expression. "I can't forgive you for attacking a brat." Summers is instantly taken aback by the overwhelming force. And the next moment, he turns his back and starts to run away. But Luffy doesn't hesitate. He quickly transforms into gear. "I will never forgive you." Luffy kicks the ground and instantly chases after Summers. Damn monsters. Summers continues to run without looking back. But the next moment, a white shadow appears before him. A giant fist that was Luffy is raised. "Don't think you can escape." "Yeah." The blow hits Summers directly, and his body flies inside. In the intense impact, Summers is slammed into the ground. Intense pain runs through his entire body, and his bones creak. But despite being seriously injured, Summers slowly stood up. Blood flowing from his mouth, he glared at Luffy with eyes filled with anger. "Don't mess with me." The next moment, Summers activated his ability. Countless vines shot out from the ground and attacked Luffy, slashing like snakes. But Luffy, speaking in gear, kept Emmy floating. His body moved freely as if made of rubber, flying lightly and gliding to evade them. The shocking vines attack one after another, but none of them hit Luffy. He continued to dodge them all as if he were dancing. "You're too slow." Luffy suddenly stretched out his arm and swung it down, transforming it into a giant stick. Boom! The blow hit Summers directly in the face. Summers' teeth flew out with the violent impact. Summers slammed into the ground, spitting blood. His face was distorted, and broken teeth spilled out of his mouth. Summers, who had been seriously injured, collapsed on the ground, trembling. Luffy slowly approaches. Wrapped in his overwhelming aura, fear appears on Summers' face. "Well, wait. Help me." Sensing his life in danger, Summers desperately begins to beg for his life. However, Luffy's expression remains cold. "There's no way I'd forgive someone who just left the children of Elbaf." At that moment, lightning runs through Luffy's entire body. Lightning gathers in the sky and his fist grows larger. Luffy unleashes a new technique, the Gomu Gomu no Dan Tall Rifle. A fist coated in giant lightning is unleashed. The fist spins like a drill and advances at incredible speed. Summers screams and musters the last of his strength. He deploys countless dancing vines coated in haki. He stacks them dozens of times and deploys them in front of him like a giant shield. However, the next moment, everything is pierced. The lightning fist breaks through his defense in an instant, crushing the vines as it advances in a straight line. Without hesitation, it pierces Summers' chest. A tremendous electric current flows into her body and runs through her entire body. Gah! Summers' body convulses violently, and her eyes roll back. Her entire body loses control due to the unbearable electric shock. Eventually, she is thrown back by the impact and slammed to the ground. Her body is burned by the lightning and scorched black. She stops moving completely, smoking. The scene changes to where Robin and the others are. Even after Summers is defeated, the demon he created has not disappeared. The sharp vines are still tightly wrapped around Robin's body. Every time she tries to move, the vines dig into her skin and blood seeps out. Akaichi falls silently to the ground. A wave approaches. "Robin, I'll save you now." She shakes off her fear and reaches out for the vines. However, the moment she touches them, countless vines pierce Wave's hand. Her face contorts involuntarily in sharp pain, and blood flows out. Even so, Wave grits her teeth and does not let go. "There's no way I'm giving up on something like this." With trembling arms, he desperately tries to hold on to the vines, but instead, the grip only tightens, and both Robin and the Wave are reaching their limits. At that moment, the sound of running footsteps echoes from afar. The next moment, 3G jumps onto the battlefield. The moment he sees the scene before him, his expression changes completely. "Robin," 3G immediately understands the situation and thinks calmly. "If I touch the vines directly, I'll get hurt too. So I have no choice but to burn them to death." Immediately after that, 3G's feet burn red. Flames filled with anger and passion swirl and shake the air. Realistic jump. A kick wrapped in flames roars and strikes Robin, arresting her. With a violent impact, the flames spread explosively and instantly engulf the ivy. The sound of burning echoes, and the ivy turns black and collapses. Before long, it's completely burned to the ground and the ivy melts. Robin's freed body loses its strength and collapses. However, 3G immediately catches her in his arms. "Are you okay, Robin?" Robin showed a slightly surprised expression, then smiled reassuringly. "Yes, thank you, Sachi-kun." At that moment, a huge black shadow slowly appeared deep within the storm clouds covering the sky. It was an enormous black air current covered in Loki's jet black scales. The next moment, Loki released a direction that shook the heavens. As if doing so, lightning swirled in the sky and began to gather all at once in that direction. Before long, countless lightning bolts condensed and fell to the ground one after another. The lightning bolts precisely targeted the swamp monster as if holding a stone. The attack, imbued with a sense of power, pierced the monster's outer corner, causing a strange destruction that burned it from the inside out. With a loud roar, the earth was torn apart, and countless huge craters were carved into it. The monsters were unable to fight back or defend themselves, and one after another they collapsed. At that moment, Luffy was on Loki's back. Luffy looked out over the battlefield and shouted loudly. "The children and survivors, get on Loki's back, and we'll get out of here." Without saying a word, Loki spread his giant wings. One by one, the children and survivors were carried away by them. Once they were all on board, Loki leapt into the sky in one go. A windstorm swept up, shaking the battlefield violently. And then he led the people to safety. Hylden, seeing the overwhelming power, showed a look of astonishment. He immediately turned to Yaru. "What on earth is this power? Where did Loki get such power from?" Yaru looked up at the sky and silently stared at the black dragon. Eventually, he opened his heavy mouth. "Loki eats only legendary demons. Only dragons, strictly speaking. Nidhek. It has the power to transform into one of the largest dragons in the world, but its true power is not something that just anyone can handle. Nidhek's power is greatly influenced by the physique of its owner. Therefore, only those who are descended from the ancient giants can draw out its true power." Loki had reached that realm. Yar continues to tell us that there was once a hero in Elbaf called the Predecessor. It is said that he fought alongside Nidhek and the lightning weapon Ragnar, alongside a servant called the ice squirrel Ratatoskr. And there is a legend that long ago, that Predecessor fought against the sun god. Luffy's expression changes slightly at those words. Yar continues to tell us that when the former ability user lost his life, Radatasker's soul resided in the weapon Ragnar. And it continued to protect its master's will, waiting for the day when the true successor would appear. The scene returns to the battlefield. Meanwhile, in the sky, Loki of the Kuroki Ryuryu takes his course once more. A deep blue light pours down from the sky, slashing through the remaining swamp monsters one after another. There is no time to escape or defend. Before long, only countless Muma monsters are lying on the battlefield. Loki has completely annihilated the Muma monsters that appeared in Elbaf. The overwhelming sight caused the Elbaf players to look up at the sky with a mixture of fear and pride. The god of destruction had returned. Meanwhile, in the distant throne room of the Supreme Council of the Holy Land of Meriwa, Iam silently gazed upon the scene. Before long, a cold voice echoed. "So Nidok, you were indeed in Elbaf."